Hey, welcome to our Team Fierce December call, guys. Before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about Hammer and Chisel. It's already out, and so I hope that you're promoting it. We're going to be starting January 4th with a team-wide challenge, as well as joining Carl, and it's going to be really fun. If you guys would like to be a part of that, please make sure you purchase accordingly. We've also been talking about doing a team-wide 3-day refresh. It's a great way to kickstart your boost. I'll tell you, I'm on day 2 right now, and the struggle has been real. I will not say that it's easy, but it's definitely worth it when you wake up on day 4 and you have tons of energy and you've cleansed your body of all the nasty stuff that we tend to put into it. So mark your calendars for that if you're wanting to do it. We'll start on January 1st. And then so one other thing I wanted to go over. If you're wanting to do that, share it with your teams and then also promote that because it's also a great way to boost your business. As you know, 21 Day Fix is now 160, so make sure that you're communicating that. I know some people have been running into issues. And we're also having some delays with the warehouse shipments. People have been, frustrated and venting on Facebook, things like that. I understand your frustration. It has definitely, I've had to help quite a few customers. If you can get on the phone and you're willing to wait, try to do so because it does help the situation and they're able to push that stuff. I had a girl who her order shipped on the 1st and we couldn't figure out tracking, and I got on the phone with them today and they said it'll be there tomorrow, so she was happy. And other people have been able to get their shipping reversed. So definitely frustrating, but Beachbody understands and they're willing to accommodate. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to introduce our guest. Most of you know Leslie. She is one of my dearest friends, and she's also one of my first diamonds on the team and has just been an extremely large asset to our team. And so I invited her on this call tonight because she knows what it's like to have shit thrown at you and not give up, no matter what comes your way. And I think that's important for a lot of us, especially this time of year when we're hearing a lot of no's or, we're going through financial issues or whatever the situation may be. And so Leslie is a great example of, for me, someone who is relentless and someone who is passionate about what she does. And even when things get hard, she shows up for her team. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Leslie.
Thank you, Melissa. First off, I just want to say that I'm honored to be asked to speak on this call. I'm Leslie. I am working hard to be a 2-star diamond, and I say that because Melissa asked me to talk about mind shift and mindset. I don't even have to tell you what my rank is. I could be emerald, I could be diamond, I could be 1-star, but if my mindset is set that I'm going to be 2-star, that's what it's going to be. So that's how I will introduce myself. I have been a coach since in March. It'll be 2 years. And I started out very inspired by Becky Brissett because she was very much like me, worked in the construction business, worked our butts off, worked with a bunch of males, just wanting to be able to be at home with our children. And after doing personal development and getting into coaching, I was still not fully committed, but I was doing my personal development, and I was working in a very hostile environment. And finally, one day when our office manager was screaming and yelling at me, I walked out of the office. This was 2 Augusts ago. And when I came back to work, they fired me for job abandonment. So at that point, you can imagine that my life was kind of turned upside down. I worked for this company for almost 11 years, gave them my heart and soul, commuted over an hour each way to work. So I was away from my children 12 hours a day. So that's kind of where my first mindset shift happened. And I realized that although it seemed like the end of the world at the time, that I had to decide what I wanted to do. And what I wanted to do was to be able to stay at home with my kids. I always thought I would never take my daughter to soccer practice or take her to preschool or even know what she was wearing in case of an emergency, unless I picked out their clothes before, and that to me was just so depressing. Then over the last 4 months, I kind of had to go through it all again. So like I said, I got into a good mindset. I was doing my personal development, doing the 3 vital behaviors. I decided that's what I wanted to do. I told Melissa, and we just kind of hit the ground running. I hit Diamond. Ended up going back to school, which slowed me down a little bit, and then shit kind of hit the fan. We had the fires out here where we live, and that was pretty hard on all of us. There are 4 houses left on my street, only 3 of them occupied, so I have 2 neighbors. I have a lot of construction going on. I have my 4-year-old daughter every morning asking me, when the houses are going to come back. It smells like a wet campfire at my house every single day. Then 2 days after the fires, my nephew passed away in a car accident. And on top of that, I found a lump and had to go through the scary part of going to the doctor and, finding out that I was okay, but not knowing if I was going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. So your mindset and your personal development will really come into play when your life is at its worst. And it will test you and question everything you're doing. And I truly believe without Beachbody in my life that I don't think I would have gotten back up. And through the support of my coach and my team and my personal development, I've been able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and get through and realize that when you shift really what's inside of you is when you then add value to others, and in turn really changes everything in your life. If you haven't heard the National Wake Up Call that was on probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, it was all about shifting your mindset, and Tony Robbins also has a wonderful things on YouTube you can look up that talks about mindset. And Melissa's a great person to go to because she's always positive, and you just can't let the negative thoughts in your head control you. So we're going to get no's. We're going to have things happen in our life that seem like, it's derailing. We're going to have our excuses. And that mindset is what creates momentum. As soon as you can change your mind and know that you can do it, because it's you and you can do this, every single one of you on this call can do this, that's when you really start to believe in yourself. You cannot do this if you don't believe in yourself. You cannot do this and be successful if you don't believe in the products. So you just have to start with yourself first. Know that you can do it. Create that momentum. Let it get you through the New Year's into the first couple months, because the more people you invite now, the more people that are going to come around 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. You just still have to be here when they're ready for your help. I have a couple books about mindset and the power of positive thinking that I can post in the team page if you guys want. I just would personally suggest that the personal development that you're doing in your business is really where you need help, and not something that you're just reading because it's a good read. Because I can read something about fitness, which I'm going to learn a lot from, but I'm not going to grow a lot because that's, I'm already strong in that area. So if I'm weak in mindset or I'm weak in building relationships, that's where you really need to dig deep and learn from to help you change that thought process in your mind. Okay, that was short and sweet. I'm done before I cry.
Well, you already made me cry. Leslie was one of the, like I said in the beginning, one of the first coaches who joined me on this journey. And when she talked about Becky's video or relating with Becky, Leslie and I didn't know each other very well. We were acquaintances of a friend, and I had heard that she was interested in joining Beachbody, and after finding out that she owned like literally every Beachbody program, I was like, why aren't you a coach? And I didn't know a lot about the business, right? We were both new in this together, and we grew together and we learned together, and we went to our first Super Saturday together. We went to our first summit together. Like, we built this business together. And through that, we found things that worked and things that didn't work. But because of those things and growing together, we have been able to pick each other. Oh, good thing I had this logged on because my other thing just disconnected. Can you hear me now? Yeah? Okay. But I've learned more from Leslie than she probably even understands. And that comes on a friendship level, that comes through this business. And so what I want you guys to think about is the things that Leslie just told you. She told you that she had all of these things happen, and yet she's still here, right? She could have easily quit. I honestly thought when Leslie was let go of her job, that was it. She came back stronger. And what is a hobby, which let me explain to you what that means, because I explained it a little bit, or I talked about it a little bit in my 3-day sneak peek today, was once I made the decision to stop making it a hobby, which meant that I would post about Beachbody every day, and I would invite people when I felt like it. I didn't invite every single day. I was comfortable making $100 to $150 a week. Once she made the decision to go all in, I felt like, holy crap, like I have to help her because this is going to be her business. And if I'm not serious about this, how can she be? But regardless of that, Leslie still would have made it. If I would have quit and I still would have been a hobby coach and just been doing whatever, Leslie still would have pushed and persevered, because this business isn't made or broke or made by the success of your upline, right? So it doesn't matter what your coach is doing in that moment or what your coach's coach is doing. I want you guys to show up every single day because of you. And so if your mindset isn't where it needs to be, reach out to her, talk to her about the books that she read, talk to her about why she chose to get up every single morning and show up for her business when the days were hard. Because I know firsthand there was days that were hard that she didn't want to, right? And it took a lot for her to keep moving.
I could have easily just messaged Melissa and told her that I lost my job and I couldn't afford my Shakeology. I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of people who have done the same exact thing. But because I didn't give up and because I pushed through, I'm able to drive my daughter to preschool every single day and pick her up 3 hours later. And that's something that, you know, I can thank Melissa for, and, you know, thank all the great leaders on this team for helping me push through, even through the hard times, even through all the no's, even through not hitting goals. I didn't hit my goal date of when I wanted to become Diamond. In fact, I didn't hit it twice. But you just have to continue on and keep going no matter what, and growing, because growth is life. Whether you're growing in your business or growing personally or growing however, like, that's your life. If you're not growing, you're just living. And realistically, like, who wants that for their life when you can have such greatness?
Totally. Another thing that she just said, hit on something. She said, I didn't hit my goal date twice, but that doesn't mean that she stopped, right? She still became Diamond, and it happened in time. It doesn't mean that she didn't work hard and that you can't always get people to get on board with you. So don't internalize that, because it's not necessarily about you, and keep on moving. Keep recruiting, keep inviting people, keep helping people understand that they have the potential to do it. And the other piece of that is rank does not mean income. So somebody could be a 5-star Diamond and not be making as much as Leslie, right? Because it all boils down to your volume and how you're building your team and things like that. So I want you guys to think about that. when you're setting goals. I don't want you to say, oh, I'm going to have to be a 5-star diamond to quit my job. If your income's there, then you can probably move that date up. That's where I kept getting hung up and saying, well, I can't come home until I'm a 5-star diamond. Well, I'm not even a 5-star diamond yet. I'm qualifying at this moment. But do you know how many times that I went through my 4-star qualification and fell out of it? 4 times. Do you know how many times that I was diamond, but I fell down to emerald and even coach and lost all my ranks? Over a dozen. That doesn't define me and who I am as a leader. Well, it could define where my leadership skills were at that point, because I was really focused on the rank and not really my team when I was diamond, and I'll be the first to tell you that. But it doesn't define, like, if Leslie's a diamond, that doesn't define, just like she said, she could be an emerald coach on this call and getting on and saying, I'm going to be a 2-star diamond. That's her mindset. She will be a 2-star diamond. But if she gets on this call and says, I'm a 2-star diamond, and her mindset's that I'm an emerald and I don't deserve this, you bet your bottom she's probably not going to stay 2-star for very long, right? Crap.
I wonder what happened to her. Okay, so anyways, let me talk a little bit more then. I want you guys to know that every single person in this business, no matter whether they're making $50 a week or whether they're making $15,000 a week, they all go through struggles, every single one of them. Even Becky was talking to us on one of our diamond calls about what a struggle she went through this year and how many ups and downs there were personally and in her business, because she didn't believe in herself. Do you know, at that point, she was like a 13-star diamond. So I completely believe, and I know that I even do it myself, that I assume if somebody else's rank is higher than yours, that it means that they're better than you, better coach, better knowledge, better leader. But I don't believe that's the truth at all. And I do honestly believe that the more you put into this and the more you believe in yourself, the further you're going to go. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit and keep going. So you have to keep going, no matter how hard it is. You have to, and that's a huge part of figuring out your why. Because if I didn't have that why, and my why that pushed me, it's not going to be the same as your why, but my why was because I needed to stay at home with my children. If I didn't have that why pushing me, I could have easily given up. If your why is to help people, how easy is it for you on those days that you're not feeling good about yourself to not send out those invites, to not be posting your workouts, to not be eating healthy, to not be drinking your Shakeology? Your why has to be something that makes you cry. So no matter how hard you get hit, you get back up. I think
I was going to say, something I heard on a call recently was, Shay Sanford. If you guys don't know who she is, I want you to go and watch her video on Shakeology, because she's definitely the Shakeology guru. But this was a completely different call, and she was on Becky's Roundtable, and she was talking about people were telling her that her why had to make her cry, and she was not a crier, so she kept thinking to herself, like, okay, like, I'll cry at a wedding or a funeral or something, but I'm not going to freaking cry over this business. Like, that's just not who I am. But I will get pissed off. And she told us a story about how her region got switched, and she was going to have to be commuting like 3 hours a day, and she didn't have any control over this, and anything that she could do about it. She just had to make this change, and that pissed her off. And so she said she struggled with so long trying to figure out what her why was. And then it clicked to her that her why didn't make her cry. It pissed her off. And so if you're like Shay and not like Leslie and I, where our why makes us cry and we needed to get home to our kids and there wasn't anything that was going to stop us if we knew it was capable. But your why is having to get up and answer to somebody else, or having to cover for coworkers who don't show up and picking up the slack, or you're tired of not being able to pay for groceries or pay your rent or take trips, whatever that is that pisses you off or makes you cry, that's what's going to push you every single day, like Leslie was saying. So figuring out what that is. And I don't know. I think that people often get caught up in comparison and thinking that they're not good enough as this person, or they can't be that person. And I can tell you, I get caught up in that comparison game too, right? And it definitely, when it comes to my fitness, I think, God, I had a baby almost a year ago. Why is my stomach this way? How come I'm not that? But also, have I been consistent in my workouts every single day? No. Has my eating been consistent every single week? Absolutely not. And so I can't get upset for the work that I'm not doing. So I want you guys to evaluate where you're at in your business and really do a gut check of what you're doing. Are you sending out, and I talked about it on Mindy's calls, I challenge you to do more than 3 to 5 invites, because that's not going to pay the bills, right? 3 to 5 invites aren't going to pay the bills. But when you get up to 10 to 20 invites and you're really recruiting people for your team and you're really sharing what this business can do for people, that's where you're going to start seeing the momentum. You're going to hear so many no's. I can tell you, I probably hear 50 no's a week, or people who will view my message and then they never get back to me, right? Super. And then 6 months later, they'll message me. I had a girl today that messaged me and she was like, hey, sorry I never got back to you. I don't check this thing, but I'm already talking to Keepers, which is Katrina, who's posting my downline. I'm going to continue to help this person and tell them absolutely you want to. Especially if you're not working with them. Already working with someone, I'm not going to try to sabotage them, but I'm going to continue to promote business because I'm passionate. Your business every single day. Find your mindset and switch what it is. If it's not working, and if Leslie or myself are telling you to do something and you've done it 20 times that way and it's not working for you, that probably means you need to figure out a different way. Because we don't know everything. It's work for us and why we haven't given up and why we show up every day. We all communicate with people differently. Find your niche and one of these days I won't have issues with technology. The only thing I was saying is that, does anyone have any questions for Leslie? I will take that silence as a no. If so, you can always post them in the team page and ask them there and we can answer them. But I just want to thank you, Leslie, for taking the time out tonight. I know that you've been handed some lemons this year, but you definitely have not given up, and you have not only inspired me, but other people to keep pushing. And I know that when I see, especially your fitness posts, or when you talk about being able to take Trinity to school, or what Mason's doing in the mornings and your guys' morning breakfast, or making ornaments, whatever, like, I just am excited for you, because I know now I understand what that looks like. And I won't ever forget sitting at your counter and both of us in tears talking about having someone else take our kids to school.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing that I've had to, now that I'm home, it sucks, because my kids I missed out on so much. So I appreciate you and your team and everything you do, and just showing up for this call tonight, because I know the last few months haven't been easy.
Thank you.
Yeah. With that, we're going to give you guys back a minute of your time, your night, and me stop cutting off and getting on and off calls and all that jazz. So
don't forget to set your calendars for Super Saturday, guys, January 9th. Save the date now.
Yeah. If you're in Sonoma County, Leslie and I host that one. If you're not, I know Jen goes to Phoenix. And I know Chanel goes to one in San Diego. So there's definitely other options. Don't let it be an excuse that you can't make it to ours, because those ladies, please reach out to
Yeah. And don't wait to send out invites till the New Year's, because those people are the ones that are going to send out your invites. Nice face. She froze on a nice face. The people you send out invites now are going to be your new coaches come the new months of the year. So send out more invites now and start sending those friend requests. I think I had 23 people accept my friend request today, and those are all brand new faces, new people to start relationships with, new people, that I can potentially help. And the more people you're adding to your network, the more success you will have. So I don't know if she's going to be hopping back on or if I should stop recording, but I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'm out of here so I can go back to my kiddos. Thank you guys for hopping on.